हम मूरख तुम चतुर सियाणे, तू सर्व कला का ज्ञाता। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸੋਰਠ ਮਹਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ। ਰਾਜਨ ਮੈਂ ਰਾਜਾ ਉਰਚਾਇਓ, ਮਾਨਨ ਮੈਂ ਅਭਿਮਾਨੀ। ਲੋਭਨ ਮੈਂ ਲੋਭੀ ਲੋਭਾਇਓ, ਤਿਉ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਰਚੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ। ਹਰ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਇਹੀ ਸੁਹਾਵੈ, ਪੇਖ ਨਿਕਟ ਕਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ। ਹਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੀ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤਾਵੈ, ਰਹਾਉ। ਅਮਲਨ ਸਿਉ ਅਮਲੀ ਲਪਟਾਇਓ, ਪੂਮਨ ਪੂਮ ਪਿਆਰੀ। ਖੀਰ ਸੰਗ ਬਾਰਖ ਹੈ ਲੀਨਾ, ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸੰਤ ਐਸੇ ਹਿਤਕਾਰੀ। ਵਿਦਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਵਿਦਿਅੰਸੀ ਰਚਿਆ, ਨੈਣ ਦੇਖ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਵੈ। ਜੈਸੇ ਰਸਨਾ ਸਾਧ ਲੁਭਾਨੀ, ਤਿਉ ਹਰ ਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੈ। ਜੈਸੀ ਭੂਖ ਤੈਸੀ ਕਾ ਪੂਰਕ, ਸਗਲ ਕਟਾ ਕਾ ਸੁਆਮੀ। ਨਾਨਕ ਪਿਆਸ ਲਗੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀ, ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ। ਜੈਸੀ ਭੂਖ ਤੈਸੀ ਕਾ ਪੂਰਕ, ਸਗਲ ਕਟਾ ਕਾ ਸੁਆਮੀ। ਨਾਨਕ ਪਿਆਸ ਲਗੀ ਹਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਿਆਸ ਲਗੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀ, ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਜੀ ਨਿਵਾਜੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਫਤਿਹ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਣੀ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਪਾਰ ਰਹਿਮਤ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਗਿਆਨ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਸ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟੀ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਜੋ ਵੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਜਲ, ਪਾਣੀ, ਹਵਾ, ਮਨੁੱਖ, ਜੀਵ ਜੰਤ ਬਣਾਏ ਹਨ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਵਸਦਾ ਹੈ। ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਮੇ ਦੀ ਕੰਧ ਖੜੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਤਮਾ ਤੇ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਤਮਾ ਤੇ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਹੈ ਹੋਮੇ ਦੀ ਕੰਧ, ਕੂੜ ਦੀ ਕੰਧ। ਹੋਮੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਚਸਕਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਮੋਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਚਤ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ। ਰਾਜਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਚਤ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੰਭਾਲਣਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਵਧਾਉਣਾ। ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਲੋਭੀ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤ ਇਹੀ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਾਂ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਧਨ ਦੌਲਤ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਕਰਾਂ। ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਭਗਤ ਨੇ, ਸੇਵਕ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰੀਏ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਭਗਤ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਫਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਨੰਦ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸਦੀਵੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਦੂਹੂ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਹੀ, ਜਨ ਪਰਉਪਕਾਰੀ ਆਏ, ਜੀ ਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਲਾਇਨ, ਹਰਸ਼ਿਓ ਲੈਨ ਮਿਲਾਏ। ਐਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮੇ ਦੀ ਵਿਆਖਿਆ ਕੁਝ ਸਮਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਰਵਣ ਕਰਨੀ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਰਹਿਮਤ ਕਰਨ। So today's Hukamnama is blessing from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib, composition of Tan Tan Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, who was the fifth Satguru of the Khalsa Panth. Hukamnama is placed in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj on Ang 613, and Guru Maharaj has given us the instructions to sing the Hukamnama in Rag Sorat that creates the calm and cheerful mood so that we can focus. In today's Hukamnama, Guru Maharaj has revealed that having created the whole creation, God has given everyone different passions. And the passions become stronger based on our desires. And our desires are based on what we expose our knowledge organs to, what we see. Eyes are knowledge organs. In Punjabi, in Gurmukhi, these are called Gyan Indre. Gyan means knowledge. So those organs of the body where we get the knowledge and awareness, like eyes, like our mouth, our smell, we get the knowledge of what is going around us. Ears, these are knowledge organs. So Guru Maharaj is making it very clear and also making us very aware what we expose ourselves to. Accordingly, our desires will be created in our mind. And our desires will guide our life, decide our destination. Because God has created this body, within this body there are elements. There are 5 elements. Panch Tat, the clay, which is our bones and skin, the water, which is the blood and the liquids in the body. The third element is the fire, our body temperature. Fourth element is the air. And the fifth element is the sky. It's called sky, but it is soul. Soul has a partition in between. Soul contains presence of God as well as the Atma, which is like there is a separation or there is a border within the soul. And that border is border of falsehood and pride. Guru Maharaj describes in the body, ਧਨ ਪਿਰ ਕਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਸੰਗ ਵਾਸਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਮੈ ਭੀਤ ਕਰਾਰੀ. The soul bride and the Supreme Lord, the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, are in the same place. But both are separated by the wall of ego. So it's very clear. So because of the ego, our soul is distracted from being one with the Supreme Soul. So it's all one part. Gurbani tells us how we can remove the walls of falsehood. So answer is very simple. We have to control what goes in our mind through our knowledge organs. We have to discipline our eyes, our ears, and mouth. And all that discipline is contained in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. मिथ्या नाही रसना परस मन में प्रीत निरंजन दर्श परत्रिय रूप न पेखै नेत्र साध की टहल संत संग हेत करण न सुने काहू की निंदा सब ते जाने आपस को मंदा. So it's very simple. In Sukhmani Sahib Bani, Guru Maharaj reveals, with your eyes, don't watch violent movies where there is exploitation, there is negativity, there is fights, arguments, conflicts, because that what you have seen will become part of your thinking. And then that will turn into desires. Desires will then decide your destiny, because God fulfills everyone's desires. Because God is there already, is part of the soul, the fifth element. The soul is divided into two parts, Supreme Soul and the soul. Supreme Soul is called Paramatma, made up of two words, Param plus Atma. Param means supreme, and Atma. Paramatma and then Atma, separated by wall of falsehood. किव सचियारा होई है कि कूड़े तुट्टे पाल हुक्म रजाई चलना नानक लिखिया नाल. How we can then realize God in this life, which is the prime objective of this life. And Guru Maharaj describes, only way is surrender yourself to God. Don't try to be clever with God. Discipline yourself. So, Guru Maharaj reveals, according to the desires, when someone looks at as being a very rich person, there's a desire in the mind, I want to be rich. Someone wants to be a doctor. So that desire leads to that person being a doctor, gets the qualification and becomes the doctor. So our desires drive our body. In Gurbani, it is described very clearly. The mind is the driver and body is the carriage. So mind drives this body carriage. So that is why it is very important to watch our desires, what is going on in our mind. So if you look at someone's wealth, make sure you remain desireless. Just pray for people so that they can serve God, rather than thinking, I should get the wealth as well. Looking at someone's beauty, if there is a lure, there is a temptation, there is lust in the mind, that is a bad news. Because that desire, the lustful desire, will drive you to commit adultery or do sinful acts. So it's very, very simple yet difficult to practice. That is why Guru Maharaj reveals in the Bani, Akha jiva visre mar jaun, akhan okha sachano. It's so difficult to recite and chant and practice God's true name. So, also it is very important to understand that God has given everyone different passion. But that is again down to one's karmas, what that person exposes himself to. Rajan mein Raja Urjayo. Some people are the leaders and the kings, the emperors. And all their life, they are busy in looking after their kingdom, thinking of the ways to expand it. Manan mein abhimani. And then there are people who are very proud. All their life, they spend how to feed their pride, how to get praise from people, how to show off. And there are a lot of people in this category. People fancy up their cars and they go around in the streets so people can look at them. People buy branded clothes. This is crazy. I can buy a t-shirt for say £10, but you'll be shocked that people pay £200 for a branded t-shirt so that they can go out and there is a label of that brand and people will say, wow, this person is amazing, is rich. So the proud people, they spend their life feeding their ego. Loban mein lobi lobayo. Now similarly, when you look at the people who follow religion, they will go around wearing, all kind of religious clothes to tell people they are so religious. They will have turban, they will have khanda stuck on the turban, they will have kirpan and gatra outside their uniform. Why? What is the need? To show off. The people can say, Bhai bada vadiya banda, he is Khalsa. So Manan mein Abhimani, all their life they will spend to prove they are religious. They are more spiritual than others. They even modify their name and have this word Khalsa or Gyani or Babaji or Sant. There's a lot of craziness going. If we don't know the divine rules, if we don't know the truth, then misery and suffering is waiting. We have to be in the state of bliss. Nanak Bhagta Sada Vigas Shunya Dukh Pap Ka Nas. And that only comes if we have the humility of a ant. How ant is humble. And this is something amazing example in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj which opens up the eyes. Kabir Sahib says, well, if there is sugar crystals spread in the sand, arrogant elephant can't pick up and enjoy that sugar because with the trunk, when it sucks in, the sand is also ingested. Can't enjoy the taste of the sugar. Only it can taste is the sand, which is absolutely rubbish, it's rough, it's tasteless. So people who are arrogant, they cannot enjoy the sweetness, the presence of God within them. But on the other hand, there is an ant so small, crawls on the ground, can pick up the sugar crystal from the sand, which simply implies humility brings the sweetness in life, harmony in life. So that is why it is so important to remain humble. No matter how much you meditate, no matter how much spiritually enlightened you are, always play down. Keep your feet on the ground. आपस ते जो भला कहावै तिसे भलाई निकट ना आवै. This is the testimony, this is the proof. Those who call themselves better, superior, the peace will never draw near them. So Satsang Ji, Gurbani opens up our eyes. It's so amazing. Loban mein lobi lobayo, a greedy person who accumulates wealth, spends all his life accumulating wealth. And realizes that I haven't enjoyed my money and wealth, now I'm getting old and it is time to just leave this world. And one person I came across, he used to come to Gurdwara every day, sit outside on the chair because physically he was very ill. And he used to say to me, I want to share with you my life story. I think I had to have patience to listen to his life story. I said, well, can you sum it up? And he said, all my life, I have spent accumulating so much wealth. I have properties in India. I have properties in England. But now, because of my ill health, I can't even enjoy my money. And I want to tell you, to tell others that in my life, I have done so much hera fairy, the corruption. I have made false claims. I have lied to people to accumulate this wealth, which is of no use to me. Please, when you do the katha next time, tell everyone. Don't be hypocrite. Don't cheat. And that is the reason there are a lot of people who walk on this religious path and they fiddle with the system. They are dishonest, and that's the reason they suffer. The other reason for suffering is when people start judging other people. No matter how much meditation you've done, when you start judging other people, when you are hypocrite, you are dishonest, suffering is waiting for you. Then don't blame God. God has defined the divine laws, and if you break the laws, there is guaranteed suffering. So, like a greedy person spends his life accumulating more wealth, doesn't spend the money. Similarly, spiritually enlightened people, the Jnani, they remain immersed in God's love because they understand, because they have enlightenment, that there is a peace and harmony when you have a loving relationship with God. Satsangaji, I was talking to one of the youths yesterday, and he said, well, what is the essence of this life? I mean, I have been to Gurdwara all my life. I'm 30-year-old now. But I see a lot of people slipping. They look like they are very religious, they are preachers, and then they slip away and end up committing sin. So answer in the Gurbani is the people who try to impress others with their knowledge and wisdom, they fall. But people who remain humble, humility is like their safety net. It's like virus protection. The virus of ego, greed, temptations, lust doesn't enter their soul because of the humility. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj describes humility as the weapon and the kavach. Kavach is like armor, which is like a protection around you. Garibi gada hamari. Garibi means poverty, but it implies humility. Humility is my gada, is my weapon to fight against the pride and evil thoughts. And becoming the feet dust of others is my armor. Beautifully described. हर जन को यही स्वभाव है. Har means Lord, Jan means slaves or devotees. Devotees of Lord, they have this passion to love God. And this is the answer. Those who meditate, walk on the religious path because they love God, they are the true devotees of God. जिन प्रेम कियो तिन ही प्रपायो. So when we meditate, the purpose of meditation is to build loving relationship with God, so that when your body becomes dysfunctional, in other words, you are dead, your soul is still connected to the source of life, Almighty God. So that connection needs to be established while you are alive. And that is heaven. When you have that relationship with God, you are immersed in God's love. तहां बैकुंठ जय कीर्तन तेरा तू आपे श्रद्धा लाए. हर जन को यही सुहावा है. And this is how the devotees of God spend their lifetime, serving God and spreading that love amongst everyone. पेख निकट कर सेवा सतगुरु हर कीर्तन ही तृप्तावै रहाओ. They always acknowledge that God is with them. Pekh means to acknowledge, to see. Nikat means close. And they serve the Almighty God by implementing the Gurbani, which is the words of God. Turki Bani Ai Tin Sagli Chint Mitai. Hence, they remain carefree and they remain in harmony. All that pleases them is singing Kirtan of Almighty God, singing God's praises, Rahav. Then Guru Maharaj expands and reveals how addict person is addicted to drugs. This is just an analogy, a metaphor, that like a drug addict can't live without the drug, similarly slaves of God, they can't live without God. Puman Pum Pyari. So another example Guru Maharaj gives is the landlords. All their life they are so busy in multiplying their properties and land, grow more crops, and they spend their lifetime indulging in the materialistic pursuits. Hence, they miss the opportunity to realize God. खीर संग बारक है लीना, प्रभ संत ऐसे हितकारी. Barak means a child, kheer means rice pudding, but it also means milk. The baby needs milk. Milk is the sustenance, is the food. Similarly, saint of Almighty God loves God and loves God's people, the creation. That is the food for the saint. Vidya mein vidyansi rachya nain dekh sukh pave. Vidyansi means a scholar or a scientist. Vidya means education, the knowledge. A scientist and a scholar person spends his life studying and getting the degrees. And then that person invents different things and is very pleased to see his own inventions. There are a lot of people who have passion to build kit cars. They spend years and years to build the kit car and drive around in that car. That gives them satisfaction. But Guru Maharaj is saying similarly, नैन देख सुख पावै जैसे रसना साध लुभानी हर जन हर गुण गावै. In the similar way, the saints of Almighty God, they carry on adoring God, singing God's praises, and this is something that gives them satisfaction and joy. Like the tongue enjoys different flavors, different kind of foods, different kind of drinks. That is what gives this tongue satisfaction. Similarly, singing God's praises gives satisfaction to the saints of Almighty God. In last two lines, Guru Maharaj has revealed the divine principle. जैसी भूख तैसी का पूरक, सगल घटा का स्वामी. God knows everyone's heart. There is nothing hidden from God. Even if you have a thought, God knows about it because God is within you. So Guru Maharaj is saying, watch your desires. Jaisi Pukh, Pukh means hunger, the desire. Whatever desire you have, it is a divine principle that God will fulfill that desire. So where is the catch? Guru Maharaj is saying, watch your desires. Not every desire will bring you happiness. A lot of people, they want to be rich, but when they become rich, they realize money is not everything. Someone had desire to get married to Prince and thought that getting married to Prince will bring happiness in life. Or getting married to a queen will bring happiness in life, but it didn't happen. All the wealth, all the royalty didn't bring happiness. So Guru Maharaj is saying, watch what you desire. If you desire for materialistic objects, it is granted to give you misery. Sukh mangat dukh aage aave, so sukh hamo na mangya paave. Don't ask for materialistic pleasures, materialistic possessions. Don't have materialistic desires. It is granted to bring you misery because you have forgotten the Creator who has created this material world. So in the last line, Guru Maharaj gives us wisdom, imparts that wisdom to us. Nanak pyas lagi darshan ki, prab milya antarjami. Those who have desire, the thirst to realize their Creator, the true parent, they become absolutely blessed. They rejoice every moment of their life in harmony and peace. Prab milya antarjami. They become one with the all-knowing God. Beautiful Satsangaji. This is amazing wisdom in the Hukamnama. There are few minutes left. We'll try and sum up in Punjabi. Please stay tuned. ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅੰਤਲੀਆਂ ਪੰਕਤੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਇੱਕ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ ਨੇ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਭੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਪੂਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਪਦਾਰਥਾਂ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਾਲਕ ਪੂਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾੜਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਤੇ ਮਾਇਕ ਪਦਾਰਥਾਂ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਦੁੱਖ ਆਏਗਾ ਹੀ ਆਏਗਾ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਮਿਲਾਪ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁੱਖ ਹੀ ਸੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਪੈ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਚਰਨੀ ਪੈ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਮਾਇਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਭਗਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਦਾਸੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜੈਸੀ ਭੂਖ ਤੈਸੀ ਕਾ ਪੂਰਕ, ਸਗਲ ਘਟਾ ਕਾ ਸੁਆਮੀ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਿਆਸ ਲਗੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕੀ, ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਦੇ ਮਿਲਣ ਦੀ ਪਿਆਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਮਿਲ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਿਆਨ ਇੰਦਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਅਨੁਭਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮਨ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ, ਮਿੱਥਿਆ ਨਾਹੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਪਰਸ। ਆਪਣੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਇੰਦਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿੱਥਿਆ ਨੂੰ ਛੂਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰਸਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਝੂਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਾਰਨਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਣਾ, ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਬੋਲਣਾ। ਮਿਥਿਆ ਨਾਹੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਪਰਸ, ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਦਸ, ਪਰਤ ਰਿਹਾ ਰੂਪ ਨਾ ਪੇਖੈ ਨੇਤਰ, ਸਾਧ ਕੀ ਟਹਿਲ ਸੰਸੰਗ ਨੀਤ। ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਜਮ ਲਿਆਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੂੜ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਵੇਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨ ਦੇਗਾ, ਤਾਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ ਦੀ, ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਦੀਵੀ ਸੁੱਖ ਬਣਿਆ ਰਹੇਗਾ। ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ। ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਨਾ ਚਤਾਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਫਤਿਹ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਣੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਰਾਜਨ ਮੈਂ ਰਾਜਾ ਉਰਝਾਇਓ, ਮਾਨਨ ਮੈਂ ਅਭਿਮਾਨੀ, ਲੋਭਨ ਮੈਂ ਲੋਭੀ ਲੋਭਾਇਓ, ਤਿਉ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਰਚੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ। ਹਰ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਇਹੀ ਸੁਹਾਵੈ, ਪੇਖ ਨਿਕਟ ਕਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ, ਹਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੀ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤਾਵੈ। ਵਿਨ ਤੁਧ ਹੋਰ ਜੇ ਮੰਗਣਾ, ਸਿਰ ਦੁੱਖਾਂ ਕੇ ਦੁੱਖ, ਦੇਹ ਨਾਮ ਸੰਤੋਖੀਆ, ਉਤਰੇ ਮਨ ਕੀ ਭੁੱਖ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।